What up, everyone? Lethal here. Just making this little video that I wasn't originally going to make. I wasn't going to do it. I made it twice, and I deleted it twice because I wasn't going to upload it. I was just going to leave it. I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'll just forget about it. But it's a pressing matter that keeps pushing itself upon me. So now I feel the need to make this video. So sure y'all saw me in the featured section this morning, not because I was featured, but because I got top comment on this post about police and cop, and of course caption, all that shit. And my comment was, bro, he's at lunch, he can smell that shit clear as day, but he ain't gonna do anything. Which is the truth. Most officers aren't gonna do shit if they're eating. They're gonna be like, nope, not my problem. Especially if it's a may arrest and not a will arrest. Since what a lot of people don't seem to know is there's two different categories of arrest. There's may arrest, will arrest. May arrest is it's at the officer's discretion whether or not they decide to arrest you for it. Will arrest means they are obligated by the law to do so. Now, for the marijuana charge, it's probably going to be a may arrest because odds are the amount on there are probably going to be minuscule, and marijuana, even in the states where it's still illegal, is not really classified as a high priority drug. So really, he's not going to want to waste his time with pot, of all things. So yeah, he's not going to do shit. So yeah, the comment section was mostly people dicking around. I dicked around with them. One person, though, has decided to take it a little further. So I just repeated the same sentence. Like, trust me, they aren't going to do shit on their lunch break unless someone's life is in danger, which is the truth. Usually they're not going to. Usually they're just going to sit there and sit on their lunch. And of course, I have some people disagree with me on this for whatever reason. I don't know why they felt the need to. I guess for argument's sake. This guy who's here is like, they don't get lunch breaks. They can get food whenever they aren't on a call. Like, no, they gotta take a lunch. They radio into dispatch. They radio out of service for a meal break, and then radio back into service when they're done. They get an hour break, which is like 99% of departments will radio out of service when they're going to get a meal. So that way their watch commander knows why the fuck they're sitting still for so long. Every shift has an officer in charge of that, and it's usually a lieutenant who's in charge of every officer in the watch for their particular district or area. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of squads have some really big ass antennas on top of them. What did you think those antennas are for? You think all that's for the radio? No, they're not. Some of them are for GPS transponders, or they can literally track the exact location of that vehicle. And a lot of departments have it set up to where it'll notify you if an officer's been sitting still for too long. It's a safety feature. So that way, if an officer's been sitting still for a little too long, you can send out a notification to dispatch, and dispatch could check up on the officer to make sure they're not shot. They haven't been ambushed. So it's a bit of a safety feature. Now, if you're sitting there and, there's no problems, your watch commander's gonna be like, hey, why the fuck are you just sitting around doing nothing? Go patrol. They don't usually like when officers sit around and do nothing. That's one of the reasons they hide. They're hiding from their sergeants, because their sergeants will yell at them for it. They want them to keep moving the whole time. So yes, when they do go on meal, they have to radio out of service, and what that means is they're not going to get any high priority calls. They're only going to get high priority calls, like, and any common shit that's going to go out on the air. Other units will volunteer for it. They won't get assigned anything unless it's something serious, in which case then they'll have to respond. But that is why when you're sitting there with cops in a restaurant, usually their radios are off. I don't know about you guys, but from the hundreds and hundreds of times it's happened with me, their radios are off. And I don't know about you, but as far as I know, you're not allowed to have your radio off unless you're out of service, because you could still be called. But no, they usually have their radios turned off when they're eating because they're out of service. But yeah, so some people were nice-ish about it. And then we got this fucking guy who thinks he knows everything. He's repeating something to me that I know. He's literally repeating something to me that I know. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to take this guy serious. I'm going to fuck with him. So I stated some bullshit just to see where he'd go with it. And again, with the snobby reply, which he liked his own comment. That was him that did that. That already tells you what kind of personality he's got. So I point out, look at my profile. You're seriously going to argue law with me? Out of every other person on this app, you're picking to choose an argument about police with me? Out of all these people on this app, you're picking a fight with somebody who is pro-police. We're on the same side. Why would you bother doing that? But wait, there's more. So he goes, considering I'm an officer, yes, absolutely I am. The federal laws you're describing do not exist, and you make far too many generalizations and assume all agencies work the same. And then he said that 2 hours ago. I'll point out why I didn't respond to that, because he says this comment considering I'm an officer. So the exact order of events when he made that comment, went to my profile, saw all of my shit, and went, fuck, this guy actually knows his shit. He actually knows he actually knows what he's talking about. If I can find the goddamn post. There we go. And then after that, he goes, you're a wannabe and it shows. You need to do better research to understand the differences between federal law, state law, and policy. But wait, it gets better. He blocked me. He fucking blocked me. This dumbass motherfucker says he's a cop, but he's too fucking dumb to figure out that I can't reply to his fucking comment because he blocked me. This guy has to be one of the prime examples of impersonating a police officer I've ever seen on this app. There's no way he's a fucking cop. And you can tell just by looking at how he's talking about. I mean, just the way he talks. Like, No. And if you are an officer, you're embarrassing your profession right now with the way you're acting. And if you do in fact wear the badge, there's a term that I'm sure you're familiar with, and it's called conduct unbecoming. You might want to look into that, because if your soup sees this and the way you're acting on here, you're gonna get struck with the conduct unbecoming. I doubt very much so that this guy is a cop. Like, you're that much of a fucking retard that you couldn't figure out that if you block someone, they can't reply. Like, this motherfucker been on this app for a minute too. Like, he been on the app for a minute too. I mean, look at his profile. That alone tells me you are not a fucking cop at all. And if you had any balls, you'd man up and unblock me. Now, for those of you watching this, do not go after him. Do not attack him. Don't message him at all. Just do the same thing I did with the other guy. Send him a message or comment and tell him to watch this video. That is it. And, Barrios, if you're watching this, be a man and unblock me. Or if you're that fucking dumb, you can't talk to someone after you've blocked them. So you're going to have to not be a pussy and unblock me. Now, this can go down one of two ways. I can pull all this off in the comment section in front of everyone, or you can unblock me and simply DM me, and I will never talk about you again. And this video will be removed. But you bet your ass if you DM me, I'm going to grill you. So if you're going to unblock me and be a man about it, be prepared. Because I'm not going to go let on you. And if I find out you're impersonating, I have a problem, bud. I have a lot of friends on this app in particular who are cops who would have no problem going after you for impersonating. So I really hope that you are just being a dickhead and really are a cop. I mean, and part of me hopes that you aren't, because you're an embarrassment to the badge if you are. Like, this is grade A CUB, man. Like, you literally just asking for it, man. You really want to get handed those papers? Because I guarantee if your soup saw this shit, you'd be in an instant handed those papers. And that's a hearing date, man. Some of the shit you said is enough to get you 30 pending. So I'd be a little bit more careful, especially since you seem to believe that iFunny can't be traced back to you, when I can guarantee you a law enforcement agency will be able to track this account directly back to you. So if you're watching this and you want to talk more, go ahead and unblock me and message me. I ain't going to talk to you in the comments if you want to be serious about this. You're going to unblock me, you're going to message me. And you better have some good answers, my man. I will unleash the hounds on you. Because the guys on here I know do not like imposters or impersonators. Yeah, I deleted this video twice, re-uploaded it, but I'm uploading it now because he wants to be an idiot. So yeah, if you guys can make sure he sees this video, that's all. Lethal, out.